Okay, so good morning, everyone. So we will be having our first lesson about writing chapter 3 in quantitative research, how to write results. So this lesson is designed for you to systematically write the results, especially in chapter 3. But let me orient you first that in our school, here in SPC, the chapter 3 is result. The chapter 4 is the discussion or findings and implication for qualitative research. And other schools, since different school, different format, other schools, the results and discussion, it was combined already in chapter 3. Other schools also, hindi siya chapter 3, but it's under chapter 4. So, pero still, we are in SPC, so we must consider how to write results based on your school's format. So if ever mag-college kayo, you will be entering a different university. So then you'll be having your research soon. Expect that different format. So far, here in Davao City, based on what I have observed, SPC, LPU, um, ano pa? Yeah, they shared the same format. Holy Cross, Ateneo, UIC, they have their own format also. So as time goes by, we don't know, but there might be a possibility that the format will be enhanced or will be changed. Now, it depends on the school's decision. But here, we will be focusing on how to write results in quantitative research. But for our first discussion, we will be focusing on our first lesson, the purpose and the scope of the result chapter. So let me present to you here our lesson objective. So at the end of this lesson one, you should be able to define what the result chapter in quantitative research, identify what information belongs in the result chapter, distinguish between results and discussion or interpretation. And lastly, write a correct introductory paragraph specifically under the chapter results. So in SPC format, chapter 3 is the result. No? So soon you will be having your data gathering. No? If you want to imagine, tapos na kayo sa survey, tapos na kayo mag-conduct ng experiments, your analyst gave you already raw result from the software, may tables na kayo, then your research mentor will say, no, okay, gumawa na kayo ng chapter 3. So, biglang parang, kasi isulat na ako. No? Ano yung isusulat ko? So, for today's discussion, we will break down step by step. And by the end of the lesson, it is clear for you what are the things that we must include in writing chapter 3 results. So important rule that we must consider in before we will start in results chapter, you must think like a reporter, not a commentator. So when you say reporter, so you will give or you will report, nagbabalita ka lang ng facts. Ang commentator kasi nagbibigay ng opinion. So for today's discussion, you will be a reporter mode. Okay? So here, what is the results chapter? Let's start with our class with the basic. So when you hear the word result chapter, of course, ano yung unang pumapasok sa inyo, sa isip ninyo? The result chapter is the part of the research paper where you present statistical findings of your study. So statistical findings, since our discussion focusing in writing results in quantitative research. Here, in Quanti, writing results, hindi siya kwento, hindi siya explanation, hindi siya advice section. It is simply showing what the data revealed after analysis. Kumbaga pa, na think of it like a CCTV footage. The footage only shows what happened. Hindi niya sinasabi na kung bakit nangyari. So ganito din yung result chapter. Ano yung ano lang, no? Parang i-present lang niya basically yung the result of the analysis. So here, why did this happen? Hindi yan siya dapat maisulat sa result. What does this mean in real life? Hindi yan siya kasali, no? Ano ba dapat yung nasa result chapter? What did the data show? What are the numerical findings based on the research questions? Ito kasing class, no? What does this mean? That's already under the discussion chapter. So separate chapter na yan siya. Now, what belongs in the results chapter? Now, let's talk about ano ba talaga ang dapat laman ng results chapter. So, if your research question is about profile of the respondents, of course, you have mentioned already, no, in your data analysis in chapter 2 methodology, since what is being asked in the SOP, it must be aligned with a specific statistical tool. That's why during our discussion in writing SOP or in the research methodology, you have there the statistical plan, the table there. Ito yung SOP mo, ito yung statistical result na gagamitin ng analyst ninyo. So take note, in writing results, all you need to do is to go back what is being asked in the SOP. Hindi ka pwede gagawa ng results, hindi ka pwede susulat ng result na hindi tinatanong, no? Hindi siya gina-ask doon sa SOP mo. So, balik tayo sa question ko kanina. If your research question asks about the profile of the respondents, example, based on the data analysis, no, the statistical tool used is frequency and percentage. And that is a descriptive statistic. So, in quantitative research, the result chapter usually includes this, first, dalawa lang talaga yan siya, descriptive statistics and inferential statistics if applicable. And it must be reported through tables or figures. So pinaka-common, frequency and percentage, especially for profiling, the mean and standard deviation asking for the level, ranking for the highest and lowest indicators, or in descriptive statistics, we are going to ask what is the highest item and the lowest item. For inferential statistics, it depends on the nature of your study. Let's have person R under correlation, determining the relationship, t-test or ANOVA for testing differences, and regression for prediction. And aside from that, regression also will be used if you will be asking for the influence or, in some cases, the word determining the effect. Now, let's have also tables and figures. So tables, that's I think that's the most common thing or sa ba, yung makikita mo sa results, no? In APA format kasi, yeah, the SPC followed APA format, and we must of course follow what is the, not the trend, but based on what is the usual ang tawag dyan, format, no, based on the standard that we have right now. So we followed actually 7th edition yun siya, but actually right now we are now in 8th edition, so hindi pa nag-update tayo, no? But yeah, we must follow APA 7th edition format. So the common there is writing results, and usually it must be presented in tables. And in some cases, there are also graphs, no? But graphs may be used, but di mas, I mean, anong tawag dyan? Explain them briefly. And in tables, sir, bakit ba may tables pa? Because that's the perks in Quanti. You need to present the results in tabular form. And aside from that, no, kasi there are people or researchers or readers of your paper, if you want to publish it, that they might prefer using the results in table. And of course, in Quanti, it's numerical in nature. So how are you going to present your result? The best is in the form of table and figures. Unlike in Quali, usually in Quali, the result or the findings during the conduct of interview, usually in its statement forms, in thematic analysis form or themes. So usually in most likely words, but in quantitative research, the results are numerical in nature, majority. So, and of course, in writing chapter 3, aside from presenting the table, we need to interpret and write results also based on our own based on the table. No? Kasi there are researchers or there are readers of your paper that they cannot easily understand what does the result means in the form of table. So that's why if you've noticed based on um, published papers or even mga research papers, after presenting the table, yung analysis ng table, no? What does the table means? Ganon. So, andun yun kasi may mga tao talaga na hindi sila mahilig o hindi nila easily maiintindihan yung table. So, they need to read what is the description or what is the interpretation there sa baba. That's why we have table interpretation. And class, allowed ba na table lang tapos walang explanation? The answer is no. Kaya nga, we need to have table and then the explanation. No? Table dito and then yung sa baba or before or after the table, it's the interpretation. Kaya nga, it's a big challenge for you that I mean, one of the necessary skills that you must possess right now, especially in this research-driven generation, you must learn how to interpret tables. No, because by interpreting tables, it will enhance your critical thinking at the same time your analytical skills. Even national examinations such as entrance examinations, even the NMAT, no, there are the questions are in tabular form. You must understand what is asked, no? What is being asked based on the table. So that's why it's very important for you, even though you are still high school or senior high school, you must learn how to interpret table. That's a good start. At the same time, that's a good way of um, practicing, no? Start pa lang daan, you must learn how to write table. Advantage kasi in your part, especially magka-college kayo, that you have background already on how to interpret tables. Now, let's proceed here. What should not be included now in the chapter 3 results? So there is where most students commit mistakes. Not just students, but also some panelists, at the same time, some research mentors, because they forgot the basics of what must be stated in the chapter 3 results. Now, what are the things that we need to consider not allowed in results chapter? First, the interpretation, explaining reasons behind the result. No, actually, hindi yan siya kasi limited lang dapat yung chapter 3 about the results, no? Explaining reasons behind the result must not be stated since there is a separate chapter for that, which is the discussion. Next, implications. The effects, the recommendations or suggestions or action must not be stated in chapter 3 result. Discussion yan siya. Comparisons, like the result of this study agrees or in contrary. Of course, that must be stated also in the discussion part. And aside from that, opinionated, like it is good that the result or it's alarming that, no, walang ganon. Like it's opinionated, hindi siya pwede, no? And then you must consider the words or phrase to avoid in results. So we have these words are dangerous, kumbaga pa. You must take note of this one, no? The terms or phrases that you must avoid. First, this implies. Okay? Pero yung this means that, actually, gina-accept siya right now. Ano? Ako na lang siyang i-delete, no? Para hindi kayo ma-confuse. But, ako na lang siyang i-delete para aware tayo. Kasi, in some cases, we cannot further explain talaga sa results na part, no? But yung this means that it gives clarity more what is being stated or what does the result mean, no? But dili siya pwede mo go beyond. But here, this suggests that the school should, that's an example, no, that hindi siya pwede kasi dapat sa yan siya, discussion. Therefore, teacher must or teacher should, that's an example also na we must avoid. Now, instead, focus on neutral reporting such as the results showed, the mean score was, and the significant relationship was found. No? Have you noticed na naka-past tense siya? Yes, in writing results, it's recommended to write it in a past tense. No? Kasi the study was conducted already. Okay? Next, how the results chapter is organized. Now, so here, your results chapter must follow the order of your first research questions that was being asked in your SOP or objectives. So, go back what is being asked in your SOP. No? And then, kung ano yung i-ask sa SOP, then yun lang talaga yung dapat i-present na results doon. And that's the one thing that you must consider. Sometimes, nagkakamali din yung panelist at saka mentor because dahan kasi sila ano, no, ipadagdag na in the first place, it was not being asked in the SOP. So, what is being asked lang, yung dapat lang yung sasagutan. No? So, you must take note of that. So, let's talk about organization. What are the things that we must include and to avoid? Sabi ko, results chapter should be random. The answer is no. The results chapter must follow, just like what I mentioned earlier, it must be follow an order. Like, what is the first question being asked in your SOP? Yun talaga yung una na sasagutan. No? Yun yung una na kailangan ninyo i-present. No? Now, each section includes, like what is being asked in your SOP, ito yung dapat mag-mention, masusulat doon sa results na part. First, introductory statement or sentence. Next, table reference. And then, the results of your question or the objective in paragraph. Example number 1. Let's have here an example. Let's analyze an example. This chapter presents the result of the study based on the responses gathered from the participants. The findings are presented according to the research questions and are supported by appropriate statistical tool such as frequency, percentage, mean, or it depends what is being used. No? So why is this correct? Of course, states what's the chapter contains. The next part is mention statistical tool, and then no explanation, no interpretation. Now, let me give you another example in which incorrect intro paragraph. This chapter discusses the important findings of the study and explains why students have low motivation due to their heavy workload and family problems. Now, why is this wrong? Of course, it uses, discusses, it explains why, and that's already interpretation. No? It belongs in the discussion chapter instead. So add reasons not coming from statistical output. So next, let's have example number 3, correct results only versus interpretation results only. No? The overall mean of academic motivation was 3.41 described as high. That's an example, no? A correct one. Yung incorrect interpretation, the overall mean, wait lang, let me rephrase this one para mamalik siya. Which implies it. The overall mean of academic motivation was 3.41 described as high, which implies students are motivated because of teachers encourage them. So in that case, it's wrong since this already an implication. So actually, let me rephrase this one. Not explanation, but implication. Yeah. The first is result, but the second adds implication. So here, let's have a quick practice. Yan. Identify if it belongs to result or discussion. Write R if results and B for discussion. The mean score was 3.25 interpreted as high. That's under results. We have here our answer key. This happened because students lack time management. That's already in the discussion part. Person are revealed a significant relationship, no? And that's under the results part. It's correct. And lastly, schools should provide intervention to improve the scores. It's already give suggestion, and that must be stated in the discussion. Now, the results chapter is just like stating raw facts, no? While the discussion chapter, it gives meaning and action. So in chapter 1, so results chapter, statistical findings only, it answers what the data showed. It uses descriptive and inferential statistics. It organized by research questions, and no further interpretation, no opinion, no recommendation. So let's end this rule. Result is what not why, and how also. So that ends our lesson about discussing what is um, the purpose and scope of writing results in chapter, results chapter.